the Wisconsinite Grand Slam champion, Craven Rage, Mr. Two Belts, the ruler of the yard, and the man who once again found a way to pull through, our reigning, defending, interstate openweight champion, James Marshall. So without further ado here on the Sports Report, number one level sponsor, pro wrestling stars here from Wrestling Championship Entertainment. That's JDT, Raven Rage, and James Marshall. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good, Reverend. Very good on this end.
Good.
Not too bad here. I want to say something before we get going.
Sure.
I have me a little guest here.
Oh, I think, have we added another name to the history here of the chairs? That would make it, how many we're up to now? Number 3, is that correct? Or am I up to 4 now?
No, we're up to 3 right now.
Okay,
Still
well,
going.
I'm sure it'll be 4 by the season's over.
Well, like I said before, it depends on how everything goes, but we'll have to see. I mean,
Well,
I'm a patient man, so you got to hit your spots just at the right moment.
Well, for whatever reason, when it comes to that chair, you might want to add the Freddie Mercury tinged vocals of Another One Bites the Dust. But we'll get to you in a few minutes. But
Yep.
I want to come back to Craven Rage here. Mr. Craven Two Belts, and certainly the ruler of the yard. And it was an impressive main event, to say the least here. Double main event that we got to see. And, of course, you can see all of that on the Wrestling Championship Entertainment's YouTube page, which I've listed here on the Facebook page of Sportswire Radio as a link where you can watch the show and get full match results. Also, on the WCE YouTube page, you can also watch the match as a standalone along with James Marshall's match here. But Craven, set the tables for us. Obviously, it was a back-and-forth match, and certainly there were times that both of you guys might have had the upper hand, but you've got those 2 belts, and that's the 2 belts that maybe a lot of people were a little bit surprised that still to see you have. But set the tables for those of us here on Sportswire Radio and how it all went down.
Well, Reverend, it's simple. I told Sean what I was going to do. I told him I was going to destroy him one way or the other. And I was going to walk out as still your reigning, defending, Universal Grand Slam champion. And I kept my word on it. And I did walk out. Yeah, I had Dash Andrews come and sneak attack me to knock me down, but I got up and dropped his ass too.
Well, I have to ask you then, I mean, what do you think Dash Andrews was thinking to come and attack you from behind, and then you actually did worse than what he tried to do to you? I mean, what was he thinking?
He wasn't thinking.
Well, that might be so. That very well might be so. I mean, so I guess then you're not too concerned about Mr. Dash Andrews then anytime soon.
No, I ain't worried about Dash Andrews. Seriously, I'm not. What I'm focused on, because see, there's a reason why they call me the ruler of the yard. Because there's only one diamond in this business, and you're looking at them. No matter what obstacle that comes my way, month after month, opponent after opponent, I go out there and I smash them, I destroy them, and they always fall to me.
Well, so far, I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, we're coming on the 5-month anniversary of you being the reigning, defending Universal Wisconsinite Grand Slam champion, and say that a few other times here. And let me get to some comments here that we have. And this individual, who I am sure that somebody who might have somebody on a chair that might know, does say evening, Tom Bryce. But interesting enough, he doesn't say evening to the 3 people I'm speaking with, which brings me over to Mr. JDT. And you know what? The names are racking up on that chair. I mean, at this point here, I don't know how much room you're going to have left, certainly by the end of the season. But it was an impressive win that nobody even thought you were going to be a part of part 2. And you got to set the tables for us and literally who victim number 3 is for those that might not know on Sportswire Radio, and talk about how it all went down.
Well, how that all began was I thought we were going to have a smooth talk between me and Craven. Apparently, he had different plans than me. He obviously doesn't want anything to do with me anymore, which, that's fine. I've dealt with that my whole life. So I took that motivation from the anger that I had.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to the GM, and basically I told him, listen, I need this match. You guys should want me to be a part of this because what I bring to the table is unlike any other superstar in this company that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am driven. I work so damn hard to get what I want. And coming into that match, yeah, it was a shock to everybody, but fighting those two, not as much as I like to say this, but they have the determination as well, but it's just not their time. My time is coming up now because I deserve everything. I like I said, I have worked and I am working so hard.
Well,
but come October 7th, I'm gonna be so damn ready.
Well, we'll certainly find out. And of course, October 7th is actually my birthday. So I'm looking forward to a rather interesting day when it comes to Wrestling Championship Entertainment. And Tim says, welcome Sportswire Radio to the WCE hour. I think we've called that as well. And I want to give a shout out to somebody from across the pond who would be an excellent opponent, adversary for you guys. And we call him Mr. Sportswire. His name is the lawman, Kyle Kennedy, who very well in his own right could be a world champion in the next month or so, because I was watching the man. He may take a world title from the wild card Tommy Dillon over at GT Ministries earlier this afternoon here in New York time. I don't think he's going to be holding gold much longer. And Mr. Sportswire, of course, is one of our favorites, just like with the rest of the guys here. It also says this individual, you better be ready next year. But we'll see about that. We'll come back to JDT and Craven. But I want to bring in James Marshall because, James Marshall, people I spoke with and said, a 30-minute Iron Man match. How can you pull this off? A 30-minute Iron Man match, and then it was actually more than 30 minutes. It was probably, about 31 and a half minutes or something like that. And you're actually down in this match by 2 falls, and it's almost you're watching it and you're saying, you know what? How is this guy going to come away and keep one of the most valued prizes in all of professional wrestling? But I'm looking at you right now, and you've got the gold champ, and this was one of the more impressive Iron Man matches that I've watched in a long time. And for those that are watching and listening here on Sportswire Radio, talk about the big win and how it all unfolded.
Well, like you said, I was down 2, and I dug myself out of the rut. And the match did end at a tie, 3-3. And just dug more out of me and just nailed him with the acid bath power driver, and that was it. And I gotta give it to Grenson. I give him a lot of respect for giving me that fight. Even it means bring my family into it. But hey, I respect him.
Would you, after the match ended, when you guys kind of gave that mutual respect, was that organic, or was that something where it was almost like, how can I put it, almost an end of an era almost between you two?
Oh, man. I wouldn't say an end of an era, but I'm sure our paths may cross again in due time. It's never an ending story.
Let me ask you a question before I get to the rest of the guys and bring in the lawman Kyle Kennedy. But walk me through early in the match, the first, let's say, quarter of that match. You're down 2 falls. Now, obviously, a lot of people didn't expect to see that coming. Crenton gets the fall early on in the match. He has control. Pretty safe to say the first, let's say, 9 or 10 minutes of the match. I mean, don't quote me exact on how many minutes, but at least for the first quarter of the match. When you're behind in that, down 2 falls, I mean, walk me through what's going on through your mind and how you're able to get back in that match to take the lead. Although he comes back and gets the one more fall, but at least to go to sudden death and ultimately win and retain your title. Walk me through though when you're down 2-0, and then to get yourself back in the position that you're in right now.
Well, 0-2. He winds me. He throws me right through that wood. I'm dead, laying there with wood on top of me. I think to myself, I gotta do something. I gotta pull something out of my hat here. At least try to get back into this thing. And he slaps me. That woke something up inside me. Woke up the start a fire in me. And that's pretty much a start of an uphill climb to gain back that lead. And I think at one point I was like up 1 at one point.
3-2, and he came back and got a fall maybe like a minute and a half later, correct me if I'm wrong, something like that.
I don't even remember half the match. So yeah.
Maybe that was the reason why you won the match.
Yeah, it's a blur to me. I just do what comes natural.
All right, and let me get to a bunch of people who are tuned in all the way from the other side of the world. That is Uncle Ralph from Top Tier and Colory Championship Wrestling. Of course, he is the man behind the reigning defending tag team champions. That is the Working Class Militia. That is DB Riley and Slugger Hampton. And Slugger pulled double duty in his own right. He was in a Stairway to Heaven ladder match, and he was able to somehow kind of get back into the match at the end and at least make it interesting. And obviously, unfortunately, our Working Class Militia fell short to the Diamond Exchange, but they are still our champions. And obviously, what an event it was for GT Ministries Chronicles. So shout out as always to Uncle Ralph. And of course, Colory Championship Wrestling on the Facebook page. Please like and follow. Over 4,000 likes. And we'll be speaking Colory Championship Wrestling Friday coming up here with BMD. And also the Lawman Kyle Kennedy says, evening, gentlemen. And the Lawman Kyle Kennedy could be coming to Wrestling Championship Entertainment because last I checked, he's wrestling like in 3 or 4 different companies at this point. So he could very well be here in this company very well soon. He says, oh yeah, morning, it's 4 in the morning here in England. Now, I know you're a very popular, and before I get to the guys here, but the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, how are you still up right now at 4:18 in the morning in the UK? I know that you're happy to see us on Sportswire, but you're a very, very busy man. I know you're obviously, looking for interviews, and you're getting wrestler promoters that are looking to speak with you, and opponents calling you out left and right, but I'm almost surprised you're here, but we'll come back to that in a second. But Craven Rage, obviously, I did hear a few things just before from JDT, and he talked about October the 7th. He talked about some other things. We saw at the beginning of the show, Blaze of Glory Part 2, kind of some back and forth between the two of you. I mean, what did you make of some of these comments just before from Mr. JDT?
JDT, you talk about how like you deserve an opportunity. If you only did what we told you to do, you had your opportunity. But no, you had to go into the GM office and get the GM all wild up and to get your little way to get up and to get yourself into that match that pretty much would have been an easy victory for me because I have beaten both of those guys. But no, you had to step up and get your bone-headed tail up in their business just to get your little way. Because I will prove that I am the GOAT. And I'm going to be damned that you will stand in my way to stop what I'm trying to do, which is run over everybody in this company. And I have done that. without your help. But but no, you like I said, you want to go up and now you want to challenge the GOAT. So if that's what you want,
Well,
October 7th, I'm gonna drop you just like I dropped you at Blaze of Glory.
Whoa. I mean, before I get to JDT, I mean, certainly those sound like fighting words here, to say the least. And let me get to a few comments. I got a bunch of people tuned in tonight. And Uncle Ralph says, after a 2-hour drive home, chilling with a drink before bed, and he's listening to us. So, I mean, certainly appreciate that. Love Uncle Ralph. Love Cody Championship Wrestling. And, of course, great job, as always, by our friends over at GT Ministries. We'll be speaking about them Wednesday night, UK time, with Bentley, who opened the show up with a victory over Jack Barron. This one might be for you, Mr. Marshall, because that handsome man in the right bottom corner sure has my attention. Hi, babe. I mean, listen, you got groupies, I guess, now, James Marshall? Do you actually have groupies?
That happens to be my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. I mean, you should have went along with it. I mean, that would have been the same thing. I would have bought it. I mean, you're a world champion, right? I would have thought you would have had groupies. I mean, certainly people love chicks. They used to say chicks dig the long bow, but chicks dig the gold. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And let me get to a couple of more comments. JDT versus Craven. Well, let's slow down first, but let's still read this comment. Best thing about it is that they will beat the holy hell out of each other. Don't care who wins. So this person's a fan of WCE, but I haven't quite heard that yet. And Tim says Craven versus JDT with kind of maybes. Is JDT the one that finally dethrones Craven Rage? You know, JDT, after hearing the comments in this chat section here, and even hearing a little bit of what Craven had to say, it sounds like that people might want to see you add another name to the chair. I mean, is there room, I'd imagine?
Bryce, why don't you tell me? I think there's plenty in room for, I think Craven's in. Craven, what do you think, huh? There's enough room for there? Maybe this whole section just for you?
Like I said, JDT, you go believe. You think you will put my name on that chair? I'm gonna put your name on your own chair. I told you that.
I'm a patient man. I know when to shoot my shots.
That sounds like fighting words here on Sportswire Radio, but I have something that's directed at you guys in a general way, and that is from the lawman Kyle Kennedy. So I'm going to give everybody a chance to kind of represent a little bit in a way what Wrestling Championship Entertainment is. And he says, brain hasn't shut down. I can't sleep, so tuning into you, my friend, which is the second person, by the way, in the last 2 days from the UK that has done that. So I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. So as someone not familiar with you guys, give me the lowdown on WCE. So I'm going to go with James Marshall first, since you're obviously one of our two holders here of gold. Talk to the lawman Kyle Kennedy, who is also a pro wrestling star in his own right over at Nonstop Action Wrestling, Blackheart Wrestling, and some other companies about what you guys do here at WCE.
Well, obviously, we put on great shows and we try to entertain as many people as we can. Watch it on YouTube, Facebook, whatever social platform that we can find. And we're climbing up there. We're getting subscribers every day.
200 with 175 now, I think we're up to, something like that. 200
subscriber count?
Yeah, I think we're over 200 now, right? Something like that.
Yeah, we're 200 and above 210 plus.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, and it's still going.
Oh, it's going to keep going. Listen, it's going to go up until, as they used to say in Toy Story, what was it? Infinity and beyond. That's what it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
For you, Craven, anything you want to say maybe in, what you represent in Wrestling Championship Entertainment to a fellow pro wrestler and a pro wrestling star in his own right and the lawman Kyle Kennedy?
Well, I represent like this. I carry around this championship. Feel like I just carry this company on my back. So I pretty much walk around as the top of this business. James Marshall's got the interstate title. He's carrying that title proudly. He's defending it month after month. every day. Every time he get it, somebody step to him, he drop him, knock him down. Everybody step to me, they fall to me. You know, so we got targets on our back, but we carrying this company and we making this company relevant, and we shocking the world by showing that we are professional wrestlers, know what we doing, and we are doing the best, and we giving y'all the best out here. That's why you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you subscribe to our Facebook, follow us on all over the platforms, like James Marshall said, and you will see people like James Marshall, JDT, Nicholas Crenson, you
The
know,
resident rock star Sean Jovi,
the
Adonis
list go
Felios,
on. The list go on.
Darkfire, Dash Andrews, the Kodak Kid, the Picture of Perfection. It's a great list of roster full of talent, which you can find on the Wrestling Championship Entertainment Facebook page. And also, I want to plug the Lawman Kyle Kennedy's page on Facebook. Please follow him as well, the Lawman Kyle Kennedy. He is also Mr. Justice Kyle Kennedy on Instagram. He also has a YouTube page. He also does a great job in vlogging. You can find that also by searching for the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, also his personal YouTube page. So please make sure you follow him on those channels. And before I get to some other comments, he also, before I get to JDT, says, I'm more than happy to hop on a plane to the States and serve my own brand of justice. JDT, you know what? I think about you and the Lawman Kyle Kennedy. You're both very similar individuals. You're big, you're ruthless, you're tough, and you haven't lost too many times between the two of you. And I think that that would be a match that would draw a lot of pounds or a lot of dollars here in the U.S. And what would you like to say to him on what you represent of Wrestling Championship Entertainment?
Well, Kyle, basically, Tom hit it right on the head. Hit it nail on the head. I am a brute wrestler. I am probably one of the strongest in this business. Not just talking like physical, but like mental. I can take a punishment. I'm up for any kind of match at any time. Pretty much every match I've been in ain't had no rules, and I really don't care for any of the rules. But like James has said, we put on a show every time we go out there. We all bust our butts to put on the best product possible for everybody that subscribes to all of our videos or even our channel. We all put a one hell of a show, and I just want to say, if you are down for it and you hop over here and come make the jump over the puddle, as Tom Brace likes to say, I would love to have you as an opponent. Maybe you might get a spot right here.
Ooh, well, you know what? Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are certainly making waves on Sportswire Radio, but the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, Mr. Sportswire, and JDT, I mean, that's a match that could certainly draw a lot of pounds, but we'll see about that. I mean, certainly anything can happen, I guess. Anything can certainly happen, but I don't know. I mean, you and him in a ring, I don't know if the ring would stand afterwards. Let me just put it that way. I mean, I don't know if we'll have a ring afterwards. It'll remind me of the SmackDown with Brock Lesnar and the Big Show. That's all I'm going to say is. That's all I'm going to say. So stay tuned, maybe. Stay tuned, to say the least here. And this individual, let me bring back this individual in here, because he seems like he's addressing people. And he says, his name is Dead Silence, and I'm coming for you next year. Be ready. You guys know who this individual is by any chance?
Never heard of him.
Nope.
I wonder who he's talking about coming after.
And he says TikTok.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Okay, well, I mean, that's
right.
what you get when you go live. That's when you get anything can happen out there. I mean, but he says he's coming, that he's going to be ready for you next year. So I mean,
Well, if he coming after Craven Race, he's gonna fall.
well, is management paying for talent that we don't know about? Are promoters out there making deals with other promoters? I mean,
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know about Mark Packer or GM. I don't know who's doing what.
I don't.
Probably-
You know what? I
probably
mean,
just
don't
another
look at me.
drunk.
I mean, at this point, I mean, promoters, if they want to make deals, and certainly, if there's a lot of stuff that goes shenanigans behind the scenes, we don't know about it here on Sportswire Radio. But there is a comment that seems to be continuing to allude to. Well, before I do that here, actually, I have more comments here. Actually, so before I get to that, first here I have golf claps. I guess. I mean, that's Nicholas Crenson here. He's doing golf claps. So Nicholas Crenson is in the house and he's doing golf claps. Okay. And the lawman Kyle Kennedy wants to address everyone here. Carrying this company on my own back. Trust me, my friend. I totally get how you feel. I know what that's like. So it seems like he's sympathizing with the individuals here tonight on Sportswire Radio. And of course, Mr. Sportswire is coming back real soon to Sportswire Radio because it's been like a week or two since we last had him on, so I think we're due. But this individual here, for whatever reason, he's addressing JDT. So, do you know who this individual is here, Mr. JDT? Because he specifically mentions you. You know him?
I've never seen that name before.
Okay, well, he says JDT. Okay. And Uncle Ralph wants to wish you guys a good night. He says, good luck, gentlemen. And Uncle Ralph, get a good night's sleep. And hopefully you don't have to get up for a little while. But okay here. So I guess somebody thinks they know somebody, but maybe they don't. But I want to come back to a comment here that is addressed and kind of maybe goes upon this maybe dissension that we're seeing on Sportswire Radio. And I want to get some comments from the gang here, and then I'll come back to Crenson. And Tim Franklin says, Craven versus JDT. Whose prediction comes true? This future match could be a hot ticket. I mean, Craven, do you see anything here about that? Is that something you see, or am I missing something? Or Tim Franklin is in over his head?
No, you ain't missing nothing. You know, it is gonna be a good match between me and JDT. You know, I don't take nothing away from JDT at all. What he does in that ring is phenomenal. You know, he's a beast in that ring. I know
for
that
sure.
I know I have a challenge on my hands. I know it's not gonna be an easy victory for me going in this match with JDT. But since JDT don't like no rules, JDT, you might be surprised what you will get October 7th.
Well, we'll find out. And before I get to JDT, I want to ask James Marshall. I mean, obviously, you're watching this here, and we'll get to your situation in a few minutes. But you're watching this back and forth here between Craven Rage and JDT. And, I mean, I know it's not your fight, but what do you make of this here?
Well, JDT is trying to make a statement saying that he can come out there and do what he does, like what he did with that Wisconsin Night Contenders match. He pulled Mark Packer to the side and got interjected himself in the match, and he's proven that. And I see Craven up there, buddy. It seems like you're having like a little bit of an egotistical problem. I don't know what's going on in your head, but I don't want to get in between of you two with this whole fight.
Nah, you just sit back, James. This is between me and JDT, and we're gonna solve it October 7th because I'm gonna destroy him. I'm gonna smash him. He's gonna see the evil side of Craven Rage. Because there's two sides. There's one ruthless side and there's an evil side.
Wait. Slow down a second before I get to JDT. Craven Rage, I've been watching you now since we've been covering you for about 3 months on Sportswire Radio. I mean, I wouldn't know what the difference is because you've pretty much done everything you've said and some. I mean, which side have you actually done or haven't done?
Like, what I'm going to do to JDT, I'm not going to show him no mercy. Every match that I have did, I show people mercy. I don't hold back. But JDT, I'm gonna punish you. I'm gonna go in that ring, and my whole goal is to beat the living holy hell out of JDT.
JDT, I hear a lot of this stuff about Craven, and I know he always says he's the ruler of the yard. And listen, he is the greatest. He's the GOAT. And to be fair, you can't dispute him. He's been successful. Challenger after challenger has been thrown by the wayside. But I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at the size of you. I'm looking at that face you have on right now. And I'm looking at what you've done to the likes of Adonis Felios and the Kodak Kid and Nicholas Crenson, and the list goes on and on. And I'm looking at kind of how you are with us tonight. And am I wrong in saying that Craven Rage hasn't met somebody like you in his 5 months and his 5 months reign as champion here as the Universal Wisconsinite Grand Slam champion? Is that fair for me to say?
I won't argue with you on that at all. What I will say is this, Craven, who have you fought really? Who have you come up against that's like me? You have never faced an opponent like me. I will do what it takes to win a match. Yeah, I may have came short up against Crenson. That's fine. I'm willing to take a loss, but as long as I'm willing to put out the damage and the hurt, I don't think you've ever come up anybody against me. Because what you've faced so far in your career and while you were champion, they are preschoolers compared to what I can do and what I have done. Your title is very, very, it is a big risk going against me now. You have a high risk of losing your title. And I will tell you, when you say that you have an evil side, do you realize I ended the career of my own brother 5 years ago? I ended the career of my brother just to try and win a match. So, and we're going to also get on the subject of you're the ruler of the yard and that you like to run through people. Have you ever tried running up against a bulldozer? Come October 7th, that title that you hold dear to you, it's coming home with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, something tells me here in the United States, we're in the middle of hurricane season, and it looks like a hurricane might be brewing between Craven Rage and JDT. Fight or Fright Part 1, October the 7th, is coming less than 2 weeks away from now to Wrestling Championship Entertainment. And you need to go over to Wrestling Championship Entertainment, their Facebook page, WCE Heat, also WCEHeat.com on the website, Wrestling Championship Entertainment on YouTube for more information. And the lawman Kyle Kennedy has responded, and he has a lot to say, so let me get to that because people want to talk to you guys tonight. Mr. JDT, the pleasure would be all mine, but trust me, Sunshine, the only use for that chair would be me sitting down on it and looking at your unconscious body on the mat after whooping you. I mean, it's natural and American below the boot of a Brit. Also, he says, big fan of this Craven guy, which actually would kind of make sense because for those that don't know, the lawman Kyle Kennedy is part of a group called the Society, and it's himself, Robert DeCaro, Remus Kane, and also Mixed Knights in the nonstop action wrestling world. So that kind of makes sense that the lawman Kyle Kennedy maybe even is recruiting more members to the society. Certainly, Craven Rage has gold. I mean, you want to throw a shot out there, JDT, to the lawman Kyle Kennedy, because he's coming back to Sportswire Radio, and I'm going to say it next week. So we're going to get him on next week. So if you want to say something now, I'll be happy to give you that floor before I get to Crenson.
All I gotta say is one thing: anytime, any place.
Well, Anytime, Anywhere was famously a Janet Jackson song. And I think that match between JDT and the Lawman Kyle Kennedy will be a lot more aggressive than that song. And it won't be slow and it won't be moody. This one will just be loud and obnoxious. And it'll be a match you'll probably never forget. And these two individuals will never be the same again. But Mr. Franklin says Dems must be fighting words between JDT and Craven. But I want to bring back Nicholas Crenson in here and also come back with James Marshall because Nicholas Crenson says, to be fair to you, JDT, you walked into my match. And Craven, I'm interested to see what your brand of evil is. But none of that matters in the end. There is a greater evil on the horizon. You know, James Marshall, you hear Nicholas Crenson, right? Nicholas Crenson, obviously, I guess it's a different Nicholas Crenson that we're used to seeing. We're bringing back Nicholas Crenson later this week to Sportswire Radio. So we'll get his side of the story on a number of different things. Probably, and I would say tentatively, that'll be this coming Thursday. So we'll get the story from Nicholas Crenson, I'm sure, as well. But when you see Crenson and this, I guess, attitude, I mean, do you feel in part responsible for it, or what do you make of this, I guess, new Nicholas Crenson that we've seen a little bit?
After what he did to Darkfire after the Iron Man match, and
Yep, he
which
snapped
led
on him.
led to other series of events that I see on YouTube. Yeah, I feel partly responsible, and I feel apologetic, if you can say that word.
Wait, you apologetic?
I said it.
Wow, I didn't expect to see that one coming here. You would be apologetic, and Nicholas Crenson says new with a question mark. Well, I mean, I guess we'll get that side of the story, Mr. Crenson, Thursday night here on Sportswire Radio. So I guess we can fill everybody in here on that, and maybe you can tell us if it's not new and it's just something that is coming out from you that maybe is not new. I mean, maybe I take that back. Maybe I stand corrected there, Nicholas Crenson, and we'll find out. And the lawman Kyle Kennedy says, "You come to me or I come to you. Either way, butts will be in the seats, and butts will definitely be in the seats for sure. If it's JDT and the lawman Kyle Kennedy, and again, the lawman Kyle Kennedy, follow him on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I'm sure he's on TikTok. He's pretty much on everywhere. So definitely follow him. And if you like what you hear from us on Sportswire Radio, definitely give us a like and follow anytime at Sportswire Radio on Facebook. Also, YouTube at Sportswire Radio. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player. We are here with pro wrestling stars from Wrestling Championship Entertainment. That is JDT, who it looks like he's going to be squaring off October the 7th. Fight or Fright Part 1 against Craven Rage, the ruler of the yard for that Universal Wisconsinite Grand Slam champion. James Marshall is here also with us. He is the Interstate Openweight champion. We're going to get his side of the things here shortly as well, what his plans are going to be for Part 1 and Part 2. And I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryson. Also, again, want to make sure that we announce that we will be back here Wednesday afternoon, New York time, evening time here as well in the UK with the vigilante of pro wrestling, Bentley, who, by the way, the lawman Kyle Kennedy would be an excellent opponent for. That would be another match that would put a lot of butts in the seats, and I'm sure that the management of GT Ministries and Nonstop Action Wrestling, or even in Bolton Town Wrestling, could maybe make something happen there with that. But James Marshall, I've kind of now got a sense on where JDT and Craven Rage are going. But I kind of saw after the end of Blaze of Glory Part 2 that you're going to be busy as well coming up.
Yeah, as of this moment, I'll be facing Darkfire on October 7th. And if I do retain the belt, October 8th, I'll be facing Sean Jovi. And it's kind of fitting because Sean Jovi and another individual that I don't want to get into that individual and our identity per se. They first started off WCE, and it's kind of fitting that we get to finish this season 1-1. It's just been a blast this season. I'm just getting over that fact. Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that the season's coming to an end. I feel like I just started talking about the season. I mean, I know I joined about midway through, but please don't make me shed a tear because I'm already looking to shed a tear in my home life, but now I'm gonna hopefully not shed a tear here in my wrestling life here. And the lawman Kyle Kennedy also wants to say, gonna sign off, and I will hit him up, which I've already did, and we will bring him back to Sportswire Radio. And also, it's been a pleasure from Tim, and also, I guess management is tuned in here. I mean, do you guys want to say anything to management right now?
First, go ahead, James.
I'm clean as a whistle.
DDT?
I'm all good.
Like good or bad? I don't know what to say right now, but
Well, hi.
I have nothing.
Management.
Hi.
First and foremost, we would like to thank y'all so much, management, for helping us become what we have become over this year. It's been a true blessing to have you as part of this management or part of this. You have helped us grow and made us better than we was last year. And it's a true honor to be representing WCE as your champion and representing this company. It's been a blessing, a true blessing from the bottom of my heart and each and everybody else's heart that I know that's watching, listening. We appreciate everything that you have done for us.
And we certainly appreciate everything that Wrestling Championship Entertainment has done for us here on Sportswire Radio. Obviously, very grateful for the fact that the company has promoted us on the YouTube videos of the shows and given us an advert, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And I had mentioned that in my closing thoughts last night to our regular Sports Report Sportswire Radio show for our general audience, and I wanted to, again, take the time out to thank the owner and management of the company for continuing to grant us opportunities to speak with great talent that we have tonight, and certainly Nicholas Crenson later this week, and also Sean Jovi, and obviously Kodak Kid has come on here, and Dash Andrews. So I just want to thank everybody. And also Sean Jovi says, hello, James Marshall is a cuck. And then season 3 is coming. I mean, do you want to respond to that, James Marshall? Because I don't even want to know what a cuck is. I don't even want to say it. I mean,
Oh my God. You don't want to know, Tom.
I don't want to know because I don't want to get thrown off the air. I don't want to get messaged
up.
from somebody.
Look up what the definition is.
Okay, you know what? I'll have my crack staff do that here. I'll have my crack staff do that here, and I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of that here. So we'll certainly figure that out here. And again,
I just quickly want to say something quick.
Sure, absolutely. Floor is yours. Anything you want to say.
Joking aside, this is back to the management. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for giving me this opportunity to perform in front of everybody we perform in front of. I mean, I get to wrestle with a bunch of great guys. Might not be the biggest fan of Craven right now, but man, I'm glad I get the opportunities to do this every month. I really wanted to get back into this so damn much last year, but I was dealing with a lot of personal issues and trying to get a lot of things figured out, but I got it all figured out this year. And I truly, honestly thank you for letting me be a part of this very, very dysfunctional family. We're like the families you see on Jerry Springer. We always have.
Well, I have to throw one thing out there. I'm sure you guys might be aware of that two things. Famously, Jerry Springer, I believe, was a guest GM on Monday Night Raw at one point. And also, famously, you guys might remember, you can look this up on YouTube, Razor Ramon was actually on the Jerry Springer show once. He actually helped a kid. I believe the kid had either HIV or something. He was really sick. And Razor Ramon actually gave him his Intercontinental Champion at the time, his belt at the time, and he was probably a few months away from leaving the then WWF. So Jerry Springer always has some type of wrestling connection there. So don't feel too bad. Everybody's family is dysfunctional at this point.
Yes,
so
that's true. That's true.
Don't feel too bad. And of course, I personally love Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Also, Sean Joby says hi again, and just kidding. And I've been informed by my crack staff on what that word was. And all I'm going to say is I'm going to plead the fifth on it and just going to say that I'm glad that Sean Jovi is just kidding. That's all I'm going to say. So certainly, all I'll say is they don't call him the resident rock star for nothing, but certainly they might call him the resident prankster for something. That's what I will say here. So certainly, all great.
Not a long time.
Yeah, well, certainly for sure. You know what? Then let's come back to Sean Jovi because you know what? Leave the pranks aside, all the definitions, whatever it might be. But you know what, James Marshall? I mean, we saw kind of how things ended off there between you and him. And you know what? I got to think that you're going to have a lot on the table because you could have the possibility, the 7th and 8th, to close this season out by defeating the two Practical Brothers. We saw the match at part 1 and the history between them, and we've seen everything that's between them. I think we're talking about a 15-year plus friendship. Those guys literally are like blood, and you have a chance pretty much rule that friendship and some.
Yeah, I don't want to get up between their friendship because, like you said, they're practically brothers in the wrestling world.
No, I think they are. Yeah.
Yep. And Darkfire did challenge me first in that gauntlet match. That didn't last very long. Obviously, he wasn't really prepared. And right now, he's got lots of time to prepare himself for the 7th. If I make it out of that match, me and Sean Joby, the 8th, well, not me per se, but someone really wants to meet him one more time per se. One more time.
I guess that means we're going to have to follow Wrestling Championship Entertainment's Facebook page, which you can do at WCE Heat to like and follow, WCEHeat.com for more information on the company, and also YouTube for Wrestling Championship Entertainment because that's where you're going to find out all the stuff that you can. And Nicholas Crenson wants to chime in and says, a family that sometimes tries to kill each other.
That's normal. That's normal.
If it makes you guys feel any better, because I know that my family's not listening and watching this, at the beginning of COVID, I literally had a family member that actually physically tried to kill me. So, I mean, I will tell you, if it makes you feel any better, yeah, and half my fault, half not my fault, but there are families out there that could really do those things, and I've actually been experienced of that. Like I said, half of it my fault, half of it, the beginnings of COVID. What can you do? So don't feel too bad. And Tim also wants to say WCE Fight or Fright, the final event, that this is no trick nor treat. Now, I definitely think that somebody is rhyming here tonight, to say the least, and I think that we've got a lot to be excited about. In fact, when I get off the air, I'm going to go rewatch some of Blaze of Glory Part 2 because now after watching this, I'm getting ready for Fight or Fright, and I think that's going to be the way to do it. Of course, Nicholas Crenson will be back on again. I think Thursday we're going to bring him on Thursday night, maybe right around this time that we've had the guys on. That seems to be a really great spot here. So we've got about 10 or 15 minutes with the guys here. Really, really excited to be talking WCE once again, and of course, all the great things that these individuals here have said. So, you know what? Let me come back to Craven Rage. I'll come back to JDT and Marshall in a second. But, Craven Rage, obviously we've heard a lot tonight between you and recapping everything that went down with Sean Jovi. And we've seen kind of now, maybe for the first time, an opponent that he's not backing down from you, an opponent that in JDT that he's going to go up to you and he's going to give you a fight that we haven't seen yet. And we've seen a number of opponents that you've been and you've conquered them, no question about it. But what are your maybe final words here or final thoughts to JDT and to anyone else here?
Well, JDT, you gonna be standing face to face with the greatest of all time, and that is your Universal Grand Slam Wisconsin Night champion, the longest reigning defending champion in history. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I have never faced the biggest challenge of my career. Everybody else, yeah, I have ran through them and dropped them, and they have fallen to me. But you see, JDT, I told you, there's a side that you have not seen before, that nobody has seen before. You talking about you like no rules? Just say it's a little treat waiting at Fright or Fright for you. And nobody is going to expect this going to happen, because what I'm going to pull out, what I'm going to go all out on, I am going all the way out, and I'm going to destroy you one way or the other. And I will have this type of match. Nobody knows it, but everybody will see October 7th what type of match we are going to have, JDT. I guarantee you will fall to me just like everybody else did and has done.
We see it
That's
all the
not
time.
a prediction. That's an actual fact.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? We see it all the time in sports history or in wrestling history. Wrestlers make guarantees. It seems to me that Craven Rage has made a guarantee to a JDT. So naturally, I come to JDT before I get to the reigning defending interstate openweight champion, James Marshall. JDT, I'm going to give you the floor. Before part one and anything else that we see here on Sportswire Radio, I want to give you the floor to respond to Craven Rage and anything else that you may want to address.
Yes, I do want to say a few things. For one, Craven, I have had many championships, not held, championship matches between many, many great opponents. I won't deny the fact that you are the best in this business right now, if not one of the best. You have beaten everybody you have come up against, except for the one. We won't talk about it. We're talking about now. Up until this point now, you have defeated everybody. I will be coming in to this match. Whatever you want to give, whatever you want to do, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to fight in it. And I will be giving 120% of everything I can put out. I may not come out as the victor, but I am also looking to do some damage as well. So bring your A game. I don't want no half-ass Craven Rage. I want the GOAT, as you so like to put it.
You telling me you want the rage? You want that full rage?
I want the rage. I want everything. I want everything you can give, you can dish out. I'm not afraid. You have to remember, I have been so close to you up until this point. I know what makes you tick. I know what makes you so mad. I know you personally. So, again, give me what you got. So I'm going to be ready for you.
Well, trust me, I will have something in store. It's already in the works.
It's
And
good.
trust me, once I talk to management, I'm going over Mark Packer's head. And Mark Packer can be the special guest referee. I don't care who is. It could be the ring bearer. It could be anybody. But I guarantee you this. Your name, JDT, is going to be on your own chair. Because I will make sure of that personally.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't been this excited about a match in a real long time. October the 7th, I couldn't think of a better way than to celebrate my birthday than to see Craven Rage at JDT Fight or Fright Part 1. 'Tis the season to trick or treat because this is going to be a match that's going to do that and some. But I realize at the end of Blaze of Glory Part 2, we kind of saw Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, and James Marshall, the stipulation that would be carried out for their match for Mr. Marshall's championship, but has now been posted. I've been given news here that has just been posted to the Wrestling Championship Entertainment Facebook page, which you can follow again, WCE Heat on Facebook, which I'd like to read off for Mr. Marshall because we're wrapping up here, and I think it's a great way to do that. And I want to thank, obviously, management for this post because I am going to read it off and ask Mr. Marshall with us because he's here with us right now. And we have it here. On October the 8th, James Marshall and Sean Jovi will face off at WCE Fight or Fright Part 2 in the main event in a pure rules match. And if he is still champion, Marshall's WCE Interstate Openweight Championship will be at stake. And here is where we will explain the pure rules. The rules are as follows. Each wrestler has 3 top rope breaks to stop submission holds and pinfalls. After a wrestler exhausts his rope breaks, submission and pin attempts or on or under the ropes by his opponent are considered legal. No closed fist punches to the face permitted. Open-handed slaps or chops to the face are permitted. Punches to the rest of the body are allowed, excluding low blows. The first use of a closed fist to the face receives a warning. The second use of a closed fist to the face results in disqualification. The title can change hands via disqualification and countout. Outside interference will result in automatic termination from the roster for the wrestler that interferes. From the roster that the wrestler interferes. So anybody who comes out from the locker room to helps that wrestler will be automatically terminated, which I think might be the most intriguing of the stipulations, aside from the title changing hands on a disqualification or countout. So, Mr. Marshall, obviously, management has given this post to us on the Facebook page to read off. We saw a little bit of that kind of teased at the end of Blaze of Glory Part 2. And also, Crenson wants to add that also 20 count for pure rules, which is not posted on the post that we have here, which you can see WCE Heat's Facebook page, which is where you can subscribe at WCE Heat on Facebook. But James Marshall, after what I've read off there, and for those that are watching and listening, do you want to explain that? And what does that mean to you here in this pure rules for your championship? Should you hold it against Sean Jovi at Part 2 of Fight or Fright on October 8th?
Well, I threw that little extra challenge to Sean Jovi after he signed the contract, and he gladly accepted. We both have pure rules match experience, and it gives that match a little extra flavor, like a big juicy steak. Yeah, but yeah, after he accepted the match, and obviously management approves. I am looking forward to that match. But I'll give Sean Jovi a hell of a fight because he's not going to walk away with this belt that easily. He's going to have to earn it.
So for you then, is this advantage you then in terms of this stipulation, you feel?
I'm afraid so. It's an advantage to me, but it gives Sean that extra challenge.
All right, well, we'll certainly find out, as that seems to be the match that will close out the season. And obviously, we'll spend a lot more time over the next several days on Sportswire Radio talking about where we go here with Fight or Flight Part 1 and Part 2. And obviously, again, Part 1 will see James Marshall defending his title against Dark Fire, who signed the open contract. And then Part 2, the resident rock star Sean Jovi in the Pure Rules match for that Interstate Openweight Championship. And obviously, we will see Craven Rage and JDT for the Universal Wisconsinite Grand Slam Championship. Will JDT add person number 4 on the chair, or will Craven Rage continue to rule the yard? We'll certainly find out. And also to recap one more time, this Thursday, we will have on Nicholas Crenson. So we're going to get to closing thoughts because obviously we're running late. We appreciate everybody's time. So let me go to JDT. And JDT, I want to give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts. Anything that you want to plug, share, say. And the floor is yours, my friend, and fire away.
Fight or Fright. It's going to be one hell of a show. There's going to be really great matches I'm looking forward to watching. I'm really, really excited to face against Craven because I know we are gonna beat the hell out of each other. It's gonna be a brawl. And again, bring what you got, man, because I love the pain. Call me a freak, whatever. I'm into that stuff. But I don't know. It is going to be one hell of a show. But I need to talk to management because that thing before with that dead silence, I don't know, man. I'm getting weird vibes around my house right now. Like, you got someone watching you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. My dogs are just barking right now, and I don't know. Maybe it's something we need to look into, or maybe it's just something I just not need to worry about. But enough of that. Craven Rage, October 7th, is going to be a brutal match.
Well, we'll find out if JDT is someone playing mind games toward him. Is somebody just trying to stoke the fire? I don't know. But I'm going to go to Craven Rage and give you the floor and give you any closing thoughts, anything you want to plug, share, say. And the floor is yours, my friend, and fire away.
First and foremost, I want to say yes, this has been an amazing season with each and everybody that's been a part of WCE. We want to thank you, Tom, for bringing us along.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
For this. It's been a true honor having us along with you doing the sports thing for us. It has elevated us real high in the subscribers, the followers, and I want to thank management for giving each and everybody an opportunity to actually showcase their talents and get out here and do something that they love doing is backyard wrestling and have fun. And that's what we're doing. We having fun with it. We're enjoying it, and yeah, JDT, I fully get it. I understand. You is going to be one of my toughest challenges for me to overcome. But the thing is, you will be stepping in front of that in that ring, face to face, with the meanest, the baddest son of a SOB that you ever seen. You've seen my performance. You've seen how I can do, but I can be more ruthless. when my back is against the wall, and you are coming after my championship, my turn, because this is my yard. And I told you, I am the ruler of that yard. I am the GOAT. I am the myth. I'm the man. Whatever you want to call me, I am him. But it's an evil that's inside me. And you will see that same type of evil and that same type of punishment. So be prepared. Be warned. I told you. I already talked to management. It's a special trick and treat that we gonna perform, that you're gonna see, that you won't expect that's gonna happen. You think you're going in there with a normal person? No, you're going with the evilest person on this planet. Craven Rage.
Well, we'll certainly find out here if those things are to be the case. And what brings me to James Marshall, our interstate open weight champion. And I want to give you the floor, give you some closing thoughts, anything that you want to plug, share, or say. And obviously, can't thank you enough for being with us here once again on Sportswire Radio. And fire away, my friend.
Yeah, like what Craig Rage said, thank you for everything you've done for us, and thank the followers and supporters that follow us and support us, obviously. Sorry. And Darkfire, bring your A game, because I got plenty of time to prepare. Same goes for you, Sean Jovi. If I do steamroll over Darkfire, and Crenson, please straighten up, pal. Straighten up. Come on.
Well, I don't know what I'm in for Thursday night. We have him on Thursday night, and I don't know what I'm in for. I just don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully he's in a good mood. Hopefully.
Well, I'm going to find out. I'll tell you that much. And I think that the fan base of Wrestling Championship Entertainment will find out here as well. And certainly, again, one more time, if you like what you hear from Wrestling Championship Entertainment, please give them a follow on Facebook. It's at WCE Heat, where you can like and follow Wrestling Championship Entertainment on YouTube as well. WCEHeat.com is where you can find out more information. And we are joined by JDT, who could be adding number 4, victim number 4 to that chair. Could it be Craven Rage? Craven 2 belts, the Universal Wisconsinite Grand Slam champion? I don't know. We'll definitely be talking about it a lot between now and October the 7th. And, of course, the reigning interstate openweight champion, James Marshall, who's looking at that mask. Something tells me here we're looking at that mask, the Pure Rules match between him and the resident rock star, Sean Jovi. He has to get through Darkfire first, but it's going to be a very, very busy weekend, of course, for the entire roster, the entire locker room. As always, we'll have more interviews. We'll probably try to get the guys back on here one more time in some form here before October 7th and the 8th. And I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. And if you are on sportnarium.com/player, you're going to go back to your regularly scheduled program. You're going to go to a sit-down Marks marathon. And if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you are on LinkedIn, is Twitter, you will also be joined by us once again Wednesday afternoon here in New York with the Vigilante of Pro Wrestling, Bentley. That is 7 p.m. UK time, 1 o'clock Wisconsin time. He is coming off a huge victory against his longtime nemesis, Jack Barron. We'll figure out where we go from here with Bentley. He also was a huge part of things in the Stairway to Heaven ladder match, where he, in a way, helped the men lose his match. So we say thank you from Tim. Thanks very much. See you next time. Yes, we will. And I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. We were joined by JDT, Craven Rage, and James Marshall. Thank you. Good night. And we'll be back here Wednesday night on the number 1 global radio station that is Sportswire Radio.